Hello my lovely viewers. In today's video we want to look at Neco 2026 chemistry practical salt analysis. We have already determined the endpoint and the table that is given in part 1. This is part 2 of the practical, and the part 2 is salt analysis. Alright, now if you are watching on Facebook, watching on Instagram, watching on TikTok, a complete video of this is already uploaded on my YouTube channel. Look at Mike TV. Just go there, search for Neco 2026 chemistry practical salt analysis by Mike. Is there on my YouTube channel. Alright, now in this salt analysis, already you know the format of reporting salt analysis. You have what we call test, you have observation, and you have your inference. Now, what is the salt given? The salt given is copper 2 tetraozosulfaces, and copper 2 tetraozosulfaces is what? CuSO4. This is copper 2 tetraozosulfate 6. Alright, now this copper 2 tetraozosulfate 6, it is anhydrous salt, and since it is anhydrous salt, it is very hygroscopic. Hygroscopic means that it absorbs water and turns to moisture. Alright, now it is very difficult for you to see this salt or being stored in the laboratory. So the one that is being used, remember this one is anhydrous salt. It means that does not contain any water. The one that is used in the laboratory is copper 2 tetraozosulfaces pentahydrate. So this is what? This is a hydrated form of it, normally used in the laboratory because it is crystal. It already contains water of crystallization. Alright, now this determine these two salts will help you to know the kind of test you will be doing. Alright, now based on the reagent given, we are given sodium hydroxide, aqueous sodium hydroxide, ammonia, we are given barium chloride, we are given hydrochloric acid, we are given source of light. Source of light means that we are going to heat this salt. Alright, we are going to heat this salt. So the salt that you'll be analyzing, this one is white in color. Anhydrous form of it is white in color, while this one is what? Is blue in color. So the one that is normally used in the laboratory is what? Is the hydrated form of it. Alright, so when you are analyzing this hydrated form of it, there are two major things that is used here. Analyzing for copper ion, analyzing for sulfate ion, and also looking at the source of heat, that is removing this water from it. Alright, by that, let's go straight to in the analysis of this salt. Remember, here we have the first thing you will be asked to do is that, remember, these are predictions, and my predictions are always 99% accurate. 99%. Alright, so just watch it. I'm going to give you in different ways, so that whichever way it comes, you can write it or perform the practicals like that. Now we will be asked to divide this salt. It is either they will ask you to divide this salt into two. Alright, into two halves. Divide the salt into two halves. The first half you are going to heat it, while the second half you are going to dissolve it in water and use it for the analysis of the ion. Is that understood? So let's take the first half. So you say that the first one is what? This is A. Under A, you say first half of C. This one is your C. Remember, your acid is your A, your base is your B, and your salt analysis is your what? Is your C. You are going to label it as what? As C. First half of C plus strong heat plus strong heat. By the time you get the first portion of this one, that is the first half of this one, then you now heat it. When you heat it, what are you going to see changes from blue to white anhydrous salt. C changes from blue to white anhydrous salt. Now, in your inference, what are you going to report? You are going to report that C loses its water of crystallization. C loses its water of crystallization. Alright? Now, this is the first part of it. It is either they ask you this first part or the second part, which we are going to look at now. Now, you draw your line. This one will have BI. The second portion now, remember you are asked to divide this salt into two halves. The second portion now, you will now be asked to what? To dissolve the second portion in what? In water. Alright? So you now say C plus water. C plus distilled water. It is either they start from here or they start from here. So C plus distilled water. We are now going to say that C dissolve to give a blue solution. C dissolve to give what? A blue solution. Or C dissolve in water to give a blue solution. You can say, let's just say C dissolve in water to give what? A blue solution. So it is either you start from here, they will ask you to start from either this one or this one. Alright, I'm just giving the two in case anyone is being given. Alright, so now what you are going to report is that C is a soluble salt. C is a soluble salt. Are you following? Now the next thing you are going to do is that now you will be asked to divide this C. Because you have already made a solution of it, you will now be asked to divide it into three major portions. Alright? Divide it into, so the first portion, say first portion of C plus aqueous sodium hydroxide in drops plus what? Plus aqueous sodium hydroxide in drops. That is the first portion. What you are going to say is that you are going to see blue gelatinous precipitate. Blue gelatinous precipitate. It is like a gel, alright? It's like aluminum and zinc that they form gel. So blue gelatinous precipitate form. Alright, it is formed. Okay, now remember this is in drops. Then in essence, in each of the line, always write it as separate. Then in essence now I will now come and write here precipitate insoluble. Precipitate insoluble in excess sodium hydroxide. Precipitate is what? Insoluble. And the ion that is present is what? Copper 2 ion present. Copper 2 ion present. Are you following? Are you following? This is what you are going to be seeing, or this is what you are going to be asked. Okay? Now the next thing is that after that, you will now be asked to heat this solution, it is either they ask you in the first one or this second part, because there is source of heat. All right, there is source of, he say you provide what, a strong heat in the reagent given. So they will ask you to heat this one. So you now say solution plus heat. You now say plus heat. Plus heat. If you heat it, what you are going to see is that you must always make sure they are in the same line. The blue gelatinous precipitate. Blue gelatinous precipitate turn black. If you heat it, the gelatinous precipitate will do what? Will turn black. So since it turns black, you say that copper 2 ion is what? Is confirmed. Copper 2 ion is what? Confirmed or present. Alright? So it is either they ask you to heat in this first part or you heat it, because what? They are asked to provide what? A source of what? A source of heat. Okay? You are asked in the reagent given that you should provide what? A source of light you can heat the salt. It is either they will ask you in this one or they will ask you here. Are you following? So if they don't ask you here, you are going to start here and proceed. But if they say you should heat the salt first to know whether the salt contains water of crystallization, you must start with this one. Do you understand? Now, the next thing we are going to test it with what? With aqueous ammonia. So I'm going to wipe this side. Okay, just take a look at it. So now the second portion, look at now, will be now BII. Remember the BI was what? Was the first portion. So we now say second portion of C. Second portion of C plus aqueous ammonia in drops. You are going to put it in drops. What you are going to observe is light. You are going to see light blue precipitate. This one is no longer gelatinous, so don't report gelatinous in this one. So light blue precipitate form or observe. You can say observe or raw form. So what you are going to see is what? Copper 2 ion is what? Is present. All this one they are still what? Tests of what? Copper. Copper 2 ion is what? Present. Now remember they say in drops. Now say then in excess. Then in excess. In excess. In excess we say precipitate. Precipitate dissolve. Remember in sodium hydroxide precipitate does not dissolve, but here give a deep blue. You are going to see deep blue solution. Precipitate dissolve to give a deep blue solution. That is to confirm that copper ion is present. Copper 2 ion confirmed. That is the general test of copper. Alright? You are done with copper. So we now analyze for sulfate ion. So here we now be what? BII. Remember the Bi is for sodium hydroxide. The BII is for what? Is for ammonia, and the last one is for what? For sulfate. So you now say third portion now. Third portion of C. Third portion of C, that is solution C. Remember, solution C plus barium chloride. When you add in terms of sulfate, when you add barium chloride to it, what you are going to see is that white precipitate. This one is not jello, white precipitate. Like precipitate observe, or you can say why precipitate form. Why precipitate observe or why precipitate form. So the ion you are going to suspect is, we have sulfate ion, we have sulfite ion, you have sulfite ion. Remember, we have Te and De. So sulfite ion. We have even carbonate ion. Carbon ion are what? Present. All these ion are what? Are present. Now remember, when you add this, the next one is what? Plus aqueous hydrochloric acid. So what you are going to report here is precipitate. Precipitate remain. You can say precipitate remain, or you say no visible change, and precipitate insoluble. This is to confirm that CSO4 ion is what? Present. So this is what you should expect in your Neco practical 2026. For more of this video, do well to like. Importantly, subscribe to my YouTube channel for the latest update on the world of chemistry. Thank you and God bless you.